Imagine a fast bowler so terrifying that a leading Indian newspaper called him, and I quote, one of the most intimidating opponents in world cricket. Now, that's not me hyping him up, that's the Indian Express talking. And when a country that's faced Akram, Donald and Lee says that about a bowler, you know, something special is going on. So who was this man? A left-arm fast bowler who charged in like a bull, bowled bouncers that made batsmen flinch, and yet disappeared from international cricket almost as quickly as he arrived. Today, we are talking about Brett Schulz, the bowler who left South Africa asking what if for over 2 decades. Brett Schulz was born on August 26, 1970, and interestingly, he wasn't even supposed to be a cricketer. His first love was rugby, and honestly, looking at his build, that makes complete sense. He also won a scholarship purely to play rugby, and he excelled at it in school at the senior level. He did play cricket on the side, sure, but with that massive bull-like physique, everyone assumed rugby was where he belonged. But then, fate stepped in the form of Kepler Wessels. He looked at this young man and basically said, "Forget rugby, son, your future is in fast bowling." And thank God Schultz listened, because what came next changed South African cricket forever. Fast forward to the 1992-93 domestic season, Schultz was absolutely ripping through the batting lineups for Eastern Province, and that kind of form, it doesn't go unnoticed. So he earned his test debut, and not just any debut. This was against India at Durban in 1992, and this was South Africa's first home test after coming back from years of isolation. So the whole cricketing world was watching, and for Indian fans specifically, this was their first real look at the barrel-chested fast bowler charging in like a man possessed. He only played 2 tests in that series, but in those 2 tests, he gave the Indian batting lineup nightmares, especially Ajay Jadeja, who just could not read him. But wait, that wasn't even his peak. His peak was still coming. 1993, South Africa tour of Sri Lanka. And Sri Lankan pitches back then? Flat, lifeless, fast bowlers graveyards. And yet, Schultz and his new ball partner Alan Donald turned those graveyards into a war zone. Schultz took 20 wickets in that series at an average of just 16.3. Let that sink in. On pitches where bowling was supposed to be a nightmare, he was the nightmare. Donald, meanwhile, chipped in with 12 wickets at 19.33. Together, they bowled South Africa to a series win that nobody saw coming. And how did Schultz do it? Reportedly, he was reversing the ball both ways at serious pace, and when the swing wasn't enough, he would just switch to plan B, spine-chilling bounces that had grown men ducking for cover. At this point, South African cricket fans were convinced this man was going to be the main strike weapon for years to come. So why exactly was Brett Schulz such a nightmare to face? Let's break it down. First, he was fast, genuinely fast. And second, he was left-handed. Now in cricket, a fast left-arm bowler creates a completely different angle of attack. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and it messes with the batsman's rhythm. His entire game plan seemed to boil down to one brutal philosophy. Either send your stumps cartwheeling with raw pace, or send you diving for cover with a barrage of bouncers. There was no in-between with Schulz.
But when it comes to just having a mean streak, being ruthless, and just for the sake that he just hated batsmen, it just was, to me, the most intimidating factor in our side.
With the new ball, he would swing it both ways, and once the ball got older, he had that lethal reverse swing weapon in his back pocket too. Pace, swing, reverse swing, and bouncers. This man had the complete fast bowling toolkit. So naturally, the question becomes, with a bowler this complete, this dangerous, why did we barely see him? And here, folks, is where the story turns heartbreaking. Just as Schultz was cementing his place as one of the most feared bowlers on the planet, his body started betraying him. A spate of injuries hit him, and hit him hard, costing him crucial tours to Australia and England. It took him nearly 2 years just to recover and fight his way back into the side. But even then, consistency remained a distant dream because the injuries just kept coming back again and again, like an unwanted house guest who refuses to leave. And then came the final blow. During the first test against Pakistan in 1997-98, a blood vessel burst in his left shoulder. And just like that, at the ridiculously young age of 27, Brett Schulz was forced to retire from the game he had barely begun to conquer. Now here's a thought experiment for you. Picture this. Alan Donald and Brett Schulz opening the bowling together for years. A pair standing shoulder to shoulder with Lilly and Thompson, Wasim and Waqar, Holding and Roberts. That partnership could have terrorized world cricket for a decade. Instead, injury snatched it away before it began. So whenever fans talk about Schulz, there's always that sigh of what could have been. Because in just 9 tests, he picked up 37 wickets at a jaw-dropping average of 20.24 and an eye-watering strike rate of 46.83. For context, those are numbers that legends are made of, and he did it in 9 tests. They called him the Bear, and once you saw him charge in, you understood why. Every run-up carried menace, every delivery demanded respect. Batsmen didn't just face Schulz, they survived him. And which is what makes his story so heartbreaking. Because cricket has no place for what-ifs. It only remembers what happened. And what happened is Schulz gave us just a glimpse of true fast bowling greatness before injuries cut his story short. So, what do you think? Could Schulz have been South Africa's greatest ever fast bowler if injuries hadn't stopped him? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more cricket stories like this.